Some of the narratives of people who have made an unsuccessful transition were expectations that were unrealistic on leaving the military. What they thought it was going to be like when they left wasn't actually what it was like in the everyday reality. And that lent itself to either extreme distraction through either going drinking and not acknowledging that they have responsibility because they didn't see this responsibility as part of what they expected when they left the military, and it was all too much. So being a civilian is what needs to be addressed. If they don't want to ever see themselves as a civilian, becoming a civilian is one of those things that is a major challenge. To have people around who know what it's like to try and become a civilian, and that is definitely one of the strongest supports networks that you can offer.
There's a lot of people on this wing, on this community, that are obviously veterans from the army, so we've got a lot more in common. There's a lot more respect, everyone respects each other, everyone gets on. Support, if you ask for something, it gets done. You need to speak to someone, there's a lot of understanding people. They've all got time for you. There's a lot of people been through a lot of things in the wing, and no one judges.
There's an element of pride whereby somebody who's been active soldier, sailor, airman, who was seen as, you know, having something about them, suddenly find themselves in the criminal justice system, in custody. It's like a fall from grace, so they don't want to identify themselves because people might think differently to them.
How would you recognise that somebody had been in armed services?
Unless someone tells you that they're ex-forces, or they've got a tattoo on their arm that says "I served," as a non-serving person or someone who's never served, it's very difficult to pick up on. So basically the simplest way of identifying an ex-service personnel is to ask the question, have you ever served in the armed forces? Some of them will tell you, some of them won't, but generally if someone thinks they're getting something, a better level of service, they're going to tell you.
So for any ex-armed service personnel, we wanted to coordinate how we identify that group and how we're bringing in some of those agencies into our prisons, into our custody suites, and making sure that that potentially vulnerable group are accessing the services that are available to help them.
We've got a lot of ex-service personnel in one place, and certainly since its inception and its opening in April 2017, it's been a massive success, and the people who live on here are happy to be here, and they enjoy the support that they get.
It's very often just having somebody who can hear them and know that there is somebody who is rooting for them. It's not about doing for somebody, it's about helping them do for themselves, or at least become more aware of their own resources and how can they enhance those resources.
My name's Sean Stocker, and I work on the Sean Stocker community in Berwyn Prison, and it's sort of like an ambassador role. I come and share my experiences and my time and give something back to the veterans in Berwyn Prison. From the get-go, they really welcomed me in, and I feel it's greatly appreciated by the men here at Bowen.
So I am a bit passionate about this community. We started it with Ian. Obviously we got Sean Stock as the lead. That's who we like aspire to, is, you know, Sean Stock, that he's a bit of a legend in here. He got blown up in Afghan, lost his legs, lost his eyes. He's kind of loved on you.
You know, I come in and I say, you've got time on your hands. You know, use every opportunity you've got here to try and create something or rebuild something better when you leave. If they can try and use their time here as a positive one, you know, they could look back at this time and not, you know, not judge themselves, not be ashamed. They can say, you know what, that was good that happened. I'm glad I went there because my life's better off for it now.